Hello friends, welcome to Study Make Education channel, and today we are going to discuss about MCQ for Mechanical Engineering part 16. So let's start. Our question is, if the diameter of conductor is double, then its resistance will be reduced to option A half, option B 1/4, option C 1/8, and option D 1/√2 times. Well, first of all, our right answer is option B 1/4. Now let's check it how. For conductor, our equation is R is equal to rho L upon A. Well, A stands for area, L stands for length, and rho stands for resistivity, and R stands for resistance. So for A, our equation is pi r square. Now if we double the diameter as it is given in the question, so our radius will be double. So our next equation is 4 pi r square. So here we can write 4 into A. Now by utilizing this value in our main equation, so we have 1 upon 4 into rho L by A. So the resistance decrease and it will be 1/4 of the original. So our final answer is option B 1/4. Now let's move to the next question. Power impulse from an IC engine are smoothed out by option A governor, option B crankshaft, option C gearbox, option C flywheel. Well, our right answer is option D flywheel. If it is given in the question that to maintain the speed of an IC engine by varying the supply of fuel as per load condition, so our right answer is governor. But for power impulse, our right answer is flywheel. Now flywheel is also known as, it is a device which stores the energy and release the energy as per requirement. For a gearbox, always remember 2 gearbox are required to drive 4-wheel drives. Very important for exam point of view. And also let's check one MCQ regarding governor. Which of the following governor is used to drive gramophone? Option A Watt governor, option B Potter governor, option C Pickering governor, and option D Hartnell governor. Our right answer is option C Potter, a Pickering governor. Pickering governor is used to drive a gramophone. Now for Hartnell governor is also known as spring loaded device. Spring loaded governor, always remember. Now let's move to the next question. For constant velocity ratio, positive drive large distance between driver and driven shaft, one would use option A flat belt drive, option B V belt drive, option C chain drive, and option D gear drive. Well, for constant velocity ratio, positive drive large distance, for large distance our right answer is chain drive. Now if it is given for short distance, then our right answer is gear drive. And for belt drive, always remember the included angle is 30 degree to 40 degree and the groove angle is 45 degree. Always remember. Now the power for flat and V belt drive, always remember one equation, that is P is equal to T1 minus T2 into V. V stand for velocity and T2 is the tension on the slack side and T1 is the tension on tight side. Well, always remember this sentence, that is the centrifugal tension on the belt has no effect on the power transmission. Always remember this statement. Now let's move to the next question. Electron beam welding EBM can be carried out in option A atmospheric pressure, option B a shielding gas environment, option D a pressurized inert gas chamber, option C vacuum. So our right answer is option C vacuum. Now for atmosphere, always remember 21% of oxygen is available in atmosphere by volume and 23% 23% oxygen is available in atmosphere by its mass. So always remember these both values. Now atmospheric pressure, there is also one equation that we have to remember, very important for exam point of view. And absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. So always remember this detail, atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. And vacuum pressure, vacuum pressure is also known as negative gauge pressure, negative gauge pressure. And vacuum pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure minus absolute pressure. So always remember these two equation, very important for exam point of view. Absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure, while vacuum pressure is equal to, vacuum pressure is also known as negative gauge pressure, and it is atmospheric pressure minus absolute pressure. So always remember these two equation. Now let's move to the next question. The following gauge is used to check of holes. Option A ring gauge, option B snap gauge, option C plug gauge, and option D dial gauge. Well, our right answer is option C plug gauge, because ring gauge is used to check the external diameter of an object, and it is also used to check the roundness of an object. So always remember this. Now snap gauge is used to check the outside tolerance of an object. So remember these details, very important. Now let's move to the next question. Sum of buffer stock, reserve stock and safety stock is equal to option A recorded point, option B order quantity, option C economic order quantity, and option D maximum inventory level. Well, our right answer is option A recorder point. Now let's check the difference between buffer stock, reserve stock and safety stock. Buffer stock is a supply of inputs held as reserve to safeguard against unforeseen shortage or demands. Reserve stock is prepaid supplies or pre-positioned storage. So there is a little difference between reserve stock and buffer stock. And as for safety stock, it is used by logistician to describe a level of extra stock that is maintained to mitigate risk of stockouts due to uncertainties in supply and demand. So there is a little difference between safety stock, reserve stock and buffer stock, and the combination is known as recorder point. Now economic order quantity. For economic order quantity, it is also an important topic. So here we have to remember, for economic order quantity the equation is square root twice AP divided by I. Well, I stand for storage or holding cost, inventory cost, and P stand for purchasing cost or ordering cost, and A stand for annual consumption. So try to keep in mind this equation. Now let's move to the next question. The maximum efficiency of self-locking screw is, everybody know, the right answer is 50. And for the efficiency of self-locking screw is less than 50. Always remember less than 50 for self-locking screw. And for overhauling screw, the efficiency is greater than 50. Always remember, because in overhauling type case, alpha helix angle is more than, so it is greater than friction angle. But in the case of self-locking screw, alpha is less than friction angle. Always remember these details. Now for square threaded screw, remember the efficiency is 10 alpha upon 10 alpha plus phi. Now alpha is the helix angle and phi is the friction angle, and the maximum efficiency of square threaded screw that is 1 minus sin phi upon 1 plus sin phi. So remember this equation. Now let's move to the next question. Which of the following locking device has the widest application in automobile industry? Option A, ring nut, option B, jam nut, option C, swan nut, and option D, castle nut. So our right answer over here is option D, castle nut. Now castle nut is look like as given in this figure. It is look like a castle, so it is known as castle nut, and the above figure is for jam nut or lock nut. Now regarding swan nut, there is a slot in a nut, so we can develop a tension. Now regarding ring nut, there is a ring arrangement for developing a stress or tension. Now let's move to the next question. Well, a key connecting a flange coupling to a shaft is likely to fail in option A, shear, option B, tension, option C, torsion, and option D, bending. Our right answer is option A, shear. Now, which of the following key is preferred for the condition when a large amount of impact type torque is to be transmitted in both direction of rotation? Option A, Woodruff key, option B, feather key, option C, Gibbs head key, and option D, tangent key. Our right answer is tangent key, because tangent key is used to transmit large amount of impact type torque in both direction of rotation. Remember this. Now let's discuss the next question. Preheating before welding is done to option A, make the steel softer, B, burn away oil, grease, etc. from the plate surface, option C, prevent the cold cracks, and option D, prevent plate distortion. Our right answer over here is option C, prevent cold cracks. So it is our right answer. Always remember, option C is our right answer. Now let's discuss this preheating. Well, this is the example of FSW. FSW stands for friction stir welding. Let me write over here, friction stir welding. In this type of welding process, it is not required to use a welding rod, because welding is done due to the heat or the heat developed by friction. And in this case we have two types of welding. In upper case, it is with before start the welding we have done the preheating, and in lower portion it is without preheating. So as we can see, in lower portion there is a cold crack developed after the welding, and in above figure we have good welding output. So here we can see the clear difference of preheating, and preheating is used to prevent the cold cracks in welding process. Now let's discuss the new question. The capacity of reciprocating air compressor expressed in meter cube per minute refers to volume of option A, receiver tank, option C, free air delivery, option B, compressor displacement, and option D, compressed air discharge. So our right answer over is option C, free air delivered. Always remember. Now let's discuss another important MCQ. The brake bleeding system serves to free the system from option A, air, option C, excess fluid, option C, excess pressure, and option D, vacuum. Our right answer is option A, air. Always remember. Now let's move to the next question. Conveyor are extensively used as material handling equipment in case of option A, process layout, option B, product layout, and option C, group layout, and option D, fixed position layout. First of all, our right answer is option B, product layout. B is our right answer. Now what is the meaning of material handling? Material handling means to transport the raw material from a storage to a department to machine and up to the finished product. That is known as material handling. And the example of product layout is and automobile sector. Now the example of fixed position layout, that is construction of an aeroplane and ship, submarine and large boilers. These are the example of fixed position layout. And group layout is a combination of process layout and product layout. Now let's move to the next question. For hoist and cranes, both are lifting device. Which motor should be selected? Well, option A 3-phase induction motor, option B synchronous motor, option D DC shunt motor, and option C DC series motor. So our right answer is DC series motor. Now we have to remember that the feed drive in CNC machine or CNC milling machine, if we take an example, then the motor used is servo motor, DC servo motor. Always remember these details, very important for exam point of view. Now next question, the class C insulation can withstand option A 180 degrees Celsius, B 150, D 105 and C 200. So our right answer is option A 180 degrees Celsius for C type insulation, and 150 that is for F type insulation, and 105 that is for E type insulation, and for B that is 130 degree Celsius type insulation. Now there is a common equation to convert Celsius into Fahrenheit. So let's recall that equation, because in SSC sometimes this question will ask by paper setter. Celsius, C is equal to 5 by 9 in bracket F minus 32. So C is equal to 5 by 9 F minus 32 in bracket. Remember this equation, very important. Now let's move to the next question. But before going to next question, here we have to discuss one important topic regarding an insulation, and that is critical insulation. Critical insulation regarding wall and regarding cylinder. So let's check it out. Well, critical radius for insulation. Adding more insulation to a wall, it will decrease heat transfer, because the thicker insulation, the lower the heat transfer through the wall. But in the case of cylindrical pipe, there is a different matter. How? Let's see. Additional insulation increases the conduction resistance of the insulation, but it will decrease the convection resistance of the surface, because of the insulation will increase the outer surface of the area for convection. Now let's check it out how it will increase the surface area. So first of all, let's check this figure. The pink portion, that is our pipe, and on this pipe we are adding this insulation. Now if I add more insulation, then our surface area will increase, and if surface area will increase, then convection will also increase. Now let's check the equation also. Surface area for cylinder, for side, that is 2 pi RH, and for top and bottom, that is 2 pi r square. Now if I increase r, then my surface area will also increase. So there is a different matter for heat transfer for critical radius insulation in a wall and cylindrical pipe. In both cases there are different story. Now the equation of critical radius insulation for cylindrical pipe, that is K upon H. K is the thermal conductivity and H is stand for heat transfer coefficient. Now critical radius for sphere, that is twice K upon H. So remember this equation. Now let's move to the next question regarding critical radius of insulation. The critical radius is the insulation radius at which the resistance to heat flow is option A maximum, option B minimum, option C 0 and option D done. Well, our right answer is option B minimum. Why? Because the critical radius is the insulation radius at which resistance to heat flow is minimum. If our resistance to heat flow minimum, then our heat transfer will increase, and up to critical radius insulation heat transfer will increase, and beyond that limit heat transfer will decrease because resistance will increase, but convection heat transfer will increase due to the increase in surface area. So if you have any confusion regarding critical radius insulation, then I strongly advise you please read this content once again, so you have some clear idea regarding critical radius insulation. Now let's move to the next question. Well, this is the end of the video, so to be continued. Now if you like this content of this video, then press like button and also give the comments, because your feedbacks are very important for us, and share this video with your friends like mechanical, automobiles, and to join with us for next video please subscribe this channel. We are also available on social media, and if you have any query and any suggestion, then feel free to contact us on studymakeeducation@gmail.com. Thank you and have a good time.